Welcome back to Formula for Average. Today we had sprint race and qualifying, and Kimi Antonelli made history. We're gonna discuss all of it, but let's start with the sprint race. So what happened in the sprint race? There are a couple of things I want to address. First was, let's say, bad start from the same Kimi Antonelli. And he was very slow from the start, from the get-go, and fell back a couple of places, made his race basically much harder than it had to be, but that gave a chance to Ferrari, and they took it. Ferrari was strong, and especially in the first opening laps, of course, the fight between Russell and Leclerc, that was something. Let's put it that way. It was interesting. It was entertaining to watch. It was interesting to see how they fought it out. And yes, of course, many of those overtakes were due to these battery deployment and battery management and energy management and etc. But some of those overtakes were pure racing, like in the first corner when going outside. That was just great to see. So overall, good fight. But then either Hamilton destroyed his tires, or I don't know, the Mercedes were able to manage the pace better. But yeah, then Russell took the lead, and he never gave it away, even though there was a safety car. But still, he held to it. And I must say that if we talk about the safety car, then first of all, it took way too much time to remove it, remove the car of Hulkenberg. But second of all, I think Leclerc unfortunately messed up the restart, and there was this let's say snap and he lost the rear for a moment during the restart, and yeah, unfortunately he was not able to take the fight to Russell. So if we look at the overall results, so this is the table how the pilots finished in the sprint race. As I said, so George Russell took the lead and took the P1, and then Leclerc and Hamilton. The gaps are so small just because, as I said, there was a safety car, and that's why Leclerc was so close at the end to Russell, because before the safety car, I think there was like 4 or 5 seconds between the first and the second place. So Russell was comfortably leading the race, but due to the safety car, of course, then the pack, everybody got back together, let's put it that way. And also we need to mention Antonelli. Yeah, Antonelli also had the 10-second penalty, which he took during this served during the safety car pit window during the pit stop, and then he was able to fight back to P5. Yeah, overall, if we talk about sprint race, then I think it was not the best for Kimi Antonelli. It was just many mistakes and all overall, let's say, not the cleanest race from his side. If I have to mention somebody from the sprint race who did actually good, that was, in my opinion, Leon Lawson and Behrman. Those two guys, they were good. I don't remember. Lawson started P14, 12, something like that. I don't remember now. But he was able to fight through, and also because of the safety car. Yes, he gained positions because he didn't pit, and I believe he was the one on the hard tire, and it paid off. But nevertheless, he had a solid race, as well as I said. Oliver Behrman also. Solid race, and he's proving to be the number one pilot at Haas at the moment in the first races, definitely. Verstappen had a bad start of the sprint race. He fell back, I believe, even to P20 or something, and then he was able to fight back a little bit. Well, to P9, ultimately no points for him, because in sprint race the first 8 places get points. But overall, yeah, not a great weekend for Max overall so far, and we'll see what the main race will bring, and we will discuss also what happened with him in the qualifying. But in the sprint race, not a great result, and he's not happy. He's not happy with the car. He's not happy with the car setup, with the power, with everything. He's just unhappy, and he's trying to do his best with the car he has, but unfortunately the car at the moment cannot deliver him good results. So yeah, this is from the sprint race. I think those are the things worth mentioning. Probably I'm forgetting something, but anyways, it was entertaining, especially in the first let's say 4 laps, and unfortunately, as much as entertaining it was, I caught myself to a thought that okay, now there's going to be a overtake, not because of how skilled the drivers are, because I know that now let's say the second car or the car behind can deploy this overtake, and because of that he can take the lead. So I caught myself to that thought multiple times, but anyways, as I said in the first about Australia, we just have to accept that this is the racing at the moment what we have. And these are the overtakes that we will see because of the energy management, not because of the skill of the driver. Although you can argue that managing the car is also part of the skill of the driver, right? So in that sense, these are still the best of probably the best 22 drivers in the world who are fighting off for seconds and for milliseconds. So in that sense, they are the best. So this was the result. These were the results for sprint race, and a couple of hours later we had the qualifying. So let's discuss the qualifying for the main race. So what happened in qualifying? These are the races, as you can see. Q1, no surprises there again. The same bottom 6 drivers. A little bit changed positions, but overall the same 6 drivers there. In Q2 also, I would say no huge surprises. Maybe I was hoping or expecting that Racing Bulls would be a little bit higher up, and maybe one of the Audis could get into Q3. But yeah, this is what it was. And again, I must say, no big surprises here, in my opinion. Couple of drivers here or there, but other than that, I think the top 10, what we are looking at here, is pretty much what we could expect. And looking at this top 10, looking at starting from the, let's say, top 10, from P10, then Oliver Bearman, again, I think deserved that he's there, although he is 1.2 seconds behind again to Kimi Antonelli, but nevertheless a good effort from Bearman there, in my opinion. And and then come next two Red Bull drivers who at the moment are struggling with the car. They had some issues, and they are not happy with the car, especially Max. Max is very vocal about how unpleasant and how bad the car is at the moment. So yeah, this is the situation with him and with the Red Bull car at the moment, and he just needs to. The team has to do a better job for developing the car. Then a good surprise, I would say, is Pierre Gasly, and he put the Alpine in P7, which is, I would say, rather remarkable result. If we think about that, Alpine last time was in Australia, it was pretty much nowhere. or in the second half of the grid. And yes, ultimately he got, I believe, 1 or 2 points in the main race. But anyways, this was not a competitive machinery. But now, yes, he is still 8 tenths down, but he is sort of the best of the rest, because if we look at the top 6, those are the top 6 drivers from the top 3 teams. So in that sense, very, very good qualifying from Pierre Gasly, and I believe he should be very happy about his starting position for tomorrow. Then both McLarens, relatively close to each other, 0.05 seconds. So yeah, nothing much I can tell there. Good that Piastri more or less seems to be recovered from the Australia mishap. So he did a decent sprint and also qualifying as much as the car allows him to. So he out-qualified his teammate, and I think that's what matters the most. So in that sense, good effort. And then, of course, again, we come to the main and the usual suspects. Leclerc, Hamilton, and George Russell, respectively, P4, P3, and P2. I must say that Hamilton looks good. He looks that he's enjoying. He's enjoying these cars. He's enjoying the current state of the cars, the current possibility to fight. Yes, they acknowledge that still Ferrari is behind, and also the result shows that they are still behind to Mercedes. But the same as it is in Australia, the same we saw it also in sprint race. I think in the race pace, Ferrari is much closer to Mercedes than they are in the qualifying. However, if we look at the qualifying, the gaps are not that huge anymore, right? So, for example, Hamilton, he's only 3.5 tenths down to Antonelli. So, in that sense, it's not 6 or 7 tenths anymore. It's 3.5 tenths. So, we can think either the Mercedes did some mistake, or actually Ferrari is performing better. So all of this promises us tomorrow a good race, interesting race, and I think it will depend on the strategy, how the teams will, because let's say, honestly speaking, I think that the only chance how Ferrari can win or could win or beat Mercedes is by stepping up their strategy, or if there is some mishap on the track. So because if we look at pure race pace, and if nobody makes mistakes and everything is smooth, then on paper I think Mercedes are still the favorites. But it's good to see that Ferrari is close and they can bring the fight to them. So that's good. And Russell, to be fair, he had a let's say, I believe in Q3 he only had one flying lap because he had a issue. Basically his car stopped on the track, and for a moment I thought that maybe he will not even get the time on board, but he managed to get back to the pits. He managed to switch or swap the steering wheels. Apparently that fixed the issue with the car, and then he went out. There were 2 minutes left or something, so he had to do a quick warm-up lap and then start the flying lap. And as he said, he didn't have any battery left, the car was not set up or whatever, so he didn't have time. He was just got out there and put in the lap, and again, the same as it was in Australia for Antonelli when the mechanics just put the car together and he just went out. The same here also for George. He just swapped the steering wheel. There were a couple of minutes left. They did some magic, whatever they did. I don't know what they did there. Did some testing, rebooting of the systems or whatever, and off he went. And he got P2. So in that sense, you can argue that it's a great result given the circumstances, right? So yeah, and then of course we come to our P1 and our history maker. So Kimi Antonelli made history today in Formula One, being the youngest driver ever to get pole position in a Grand Prix. So congratulations to him, 19 years old. I don't know exactly how many days or whatnot, but 19 years old, and he got his pole position, his first in his career, I believe. So there are many still to come, but great achievement. What he has to do tomorrow for the race, first of all, he has to nail the starts, because the starts in Australia and also in China sprint race were very bad from him. So he needs to nail that, and then be, let's say, straight thinking, cool, and just do what he needs to do. Otherwise, he could lose to his more experienced teammate, and also the guys behind. They have huge experience, and they have very quick cars off the line, and this is something that Ferrari is known for in this season. They are very rapid off the line, so we'll see how it plays out tomorrow morning. So tomorrow we will have this main race, and of course after the race I will also be back here to discuss the results. Before we go for tomorrow's results, I still want to show or compare the top 3 drivers from qualifying, looking at their telemetry, and it shows, let's say, if not all, then at least part of the picture why Antonelli and why Russell are on top. Here I have again this the same telemetry page from GP Tempo. I like to play with it a little bit and compare. So with this bluish cyan color we have Antonelli, and then with white we have Russell, and red we have Hamilton. So P1, P2, P3, the best laps from the qualifying. You can see on the map also where each driver has an advantage, and you can see that in many places Hamilton and Ferrari is very good, like gaining speed and acceleration is very good from Ferrari. You see, okay, here's a little bit braking, these slower parts, and also acceleration is where Ferrari is very good at. So these are the places where they are good. Where they are not good, and this is also what Hamilton says, that in the straight line speed, and as you see also from this graph, so this is the speed in kilometers per hour. If we compare the peak speed, so for Antonelli is 332 kilometers, for Russell is 333, and for Hamilton it's 329. So not a huge gap, but a couple of kilometers there. But where this the delta increases is here as we approach this turn 14 and the heavy braking zone, because this is where the drivers start to, let's say, recharge their batteries, and still going through full throttle, as we see here, still going through full throttle here, but charging the batteries. And here you see the difference becomes greater. And just before they hit the brakes, you see that Russell has a speed of 305 kilometers and Hamilton is 293. So already like almost 10, not almost 12 kilometer difference in speed. So this is where they gain. Another location where there is a huge difference, or rather huge difference, is this turn 5. So this high speed turn here just before this first hairpin. As you see also here, Hamilton cannot gain as much speed, and also he's 12 kilometers down compared to Russell and Antonelli. And I think these are the locations, these high-speed locations, where at the moment Ferrari is losing out. Because as I said, in the corners and in accelerating out of the corners, they are actually quite good. But in these speed areas, whatever you call them, speed traps, small speed traps, they are not good. And also you see here in the main straight, in the first half, accelerating, Hamilton is good, and then Mercedes take over. So high speed, this is where Mercedes is good. lower speed, this is where the Ferrari is good. So when we'll go to other tracks where the high speed is not so important, then I believe that the Ferrari will be closer to Mercedes. So we'll see how it all plans out. But this is just, in my opinion, interesting to compare and see where the drivers are gaining and where they are losing time. So now that's it from my side. I will not waste your time anymore. Thank you very much for watching, for listening. Tomorrow morning, local time, tomorrow morning we have the main race of China Grand Prix, and after that race I will also be back with the race review, as I said, and we'll take a look at the results and the happenings from the race. So thank you very much for listening, for watching. Stay safe, and bye bye.